Brussels, a city of waffles, chocolate, surreal architecture, powerful politicians, chaotic weather, and surprisingly cozy vibes. When people talk about moving to Europe, you always hear the same list: Paris, Barcelona, Lisbon, maybe Berlin. But Brussels? It quietly sits in the middle of Western Europe, sipping its beer, judging everyone, and waiting for you to finally notice it. I spent a decent amount of time living here as a slow-traveling digital nomad, and I'll be honest, Brussels surprised me in a lot of ways. It's not the cheapest city in Europe, it's definitely not the sunniest, and sometimes it feels like the entire city is powered by paperwork and precipitation. But it has its charm. The food is great. The international vibe is real. The location is unbeatable. And if you love travel, beer, culture, and carbs, oh yes, Brussels will treat you very, very well. In this video, we're breaking down the real cost of living in Brussels, from rent and groceries to transportation, lifestyle, visas, and hidden costs nobody talks about. By the end, you'll know exactly how much you need per month to live comfortably in this underrated European capital, and whether Brussels is your next home base or just a weekend romance. Let's dive in. Brussels is one of those cities that quietly scores very high on global rankings. Belgium consistently sits among the top 20 best countries in the world for overall quality of life, and Brussels itself often ranks in the top 15 cities globally for safety, healthcare, work-life balance, and international environment. That's not a coincidence. The city is stable, well-organized, and designed for people who want a comfortable European lifestyle without the chaos and ego of bigger capitals. Brussels has a unique personality. It's international, but not arrogant. Stylish, but not trying too hard. You get world-class food, some of Europe's best craft beer, beautiful neighborhoods, and a social scene built around cozy cafes and long conversations, not rushed, stressful city energy. And because it's the official capital of the European Union, the city attracts diplomats, expats, students, NGOs, entrepreneurs, and professionals from around the world. If you love multicultural environments, you'll feel at home here immediately. Another huge advantage? Location. Brussels is one of the best connected cities in Europe. You can literally finish work on Friday and be in Paris, Amsterdam, London, Cologne, or Luxembourg in about 2 hours by train. That makes it a dream base for slow travelers, digital nomads, and anyone who wants to explore multiple countries without flying. And unlike many postcard cities, Brussels is actually livable. The pace is calmer, the streets are walkable, cycling is normal, healthcare is excellent, education is strong, salaries are decent, and the social system is one of the most supportive in Europe. You don't just visit Brussels, you can build a real, stable life here. Of course, the city isn't perfect. We'll get to the downsides later. But if you want a high quality of life, international opportunities, top connectivity, and a social lifestyle that doesn't destroy your mental health, Brussels checks a lot of boxes. When it comes to rent, Brussels can surprise you. It's not cheap, but it's also not as painful as many popular cities in Western Europe. The housing game here really depends on which commune you choose. And yes, you'll hear that word a lot. Brussels is made up of 19 communes, each with its own vibe, rules, and personality. For example, Ixelles and Saint-Gilles are trendy and international. Etterbeek and Woluwe are quieter and more residential, while Anderlecht or Schaerbeek are more mixed, diverse, and often cheaper. The quality of life can change dramatically just by crossing a street. That's Brussels. Your apartment hunt will most likely start on ImmoWeb, the go-to website for rentals. If you see a listing that says available immediately, take it seriously. Those places move fast. Brussels rentals can disappear in a day, especially the well-priced ones. Pro tip: have all your paperwork ready before you start booking viewings. Your ID or passport, proof of income or savings, and sometimes even a work contract. If you can show everything on the spot, agents take you more seriously, and other applicants basically lose their chance. A room in a shared flat will usually cost 500 to 800 euros per month, depending on the commune and building condition. A tiny studio might start around 800 to 1,000 euros. and a decent one-bedroom usually falls between 1,200 to 1,500 euros. Brussels isn't a city where you pay crazy rent just for a name or a view, but you do pay for space, transport connections, and safety. Contracts in Brussels are usually 3 to 6 to 9 leases, which simply means they are long-term contracts with break options. In practice, most expats can break their lease after the first year if needed. You just need to respect the notice period and conditions. It sounds complicated, but it's normal here and agents will explain the details. Be ready for 2 financial surprises: building maintenance fees and the security deposit. Many apartments come with a monthly maintenance charge: cleaning, shared electricity, elevator, etc. This is usually fair, but it can add 50 to 100 euros per month depending on the building. On top of that, landlords typically ask for a 2-month deposit up front, which is returned at the end of your lease if the apartment is left in good condition. Overall, finding a place in Brussels takes a bit of patience, but it's manageable. If you choose your commune wisely and act fast when you find a good listing, you can get a comfortable home that actually matches your budget, something that's becoming rare in Western Europe. Food-wise, Brussels can be as cheap or as expensive as you want it to be. If you shop smart, you'll be totally fine. If you get lazy and start buying everything from the wrong stores, your wallet will cry. Supermarkets like Aldi and Lidl are the go-to spots for good prices. That's where you'll find the best deals on everyday basics. Carrefour, on the other hand, is convenient and everywhere, but I consistently found it a bit more expensive for the same products. And if you step into Delhaize or organic stores, let's just say you might start questioning your life choices at the checkout. For one person, cooking at home will usually land you around 200 to 250 euros per month if you stick to a normal, balanced diet. Go heavy on organic or healthy influencer lifestyle items, and you can easily double that without even noticing. Eating out in Brussels is a mixed bag. A cheap lunch or a kebab might cost 7 to 10 euros, a casual sit-down meal 18 to 20 euros, and if you want a proper dinner with a drink, expect 30 to 40 euros per person. Alcohol is where Brussels spoils you. Local beer is not only excellent, it's often cheaper than soft drinks. The downside? Eating out too often gets pricey fast. That's why most expats I met cook at home during the week and save their eating out budget for weekends. Fries, waffles, beers, brunches, and late-night food adventures. And honestly, that balance works great in this city. Brussels will feed you well as long as you don't treat restaurants like your kitchen. Getting around Brussels is genuinely easy. The city has a well-connected network of metros, trams, and buses, and for most people living here, that's all you'll ever need. A single ride costs €2.70, but if you're using public transport daily, it makes way more sense to get the Brewpass monthly pass for €66, which gives you unlimited travel within Brussels. You just tap, ride, and never think about tickets again. Because of that, owning a car in the city is pretty unnecessary. Parking is expensive, traffic can be annoying, and honestly, it just adds stress. If you really need a car once in a while, you can always rent or use car-sharing apps. Cycling is also becoming more popular, and with services like Vio, you can grab a shared bike and move around easily, especially on sunny days. Overall, transportation in Brussels is simple, reliable, and affordable, and you can comfortably live here without ever owning a car. Utilities in Brussels are fairly reasonable, but they can fluctuate depending on the season. The biggest factor in your monthly bill is heating, especially in the winter when it gets cold, gray, and damp. For a small apartment or studio, expect to spend around €100 per month on average for electricity, heating, water, and other building-related charges, sometimes a bit less in summer, sometimes noticeably more in January and February. Internet, on the other hand, is straightforward and fast. For about €30 per month, you can get a solid home connection with unlimited data, perfect for remote workers, gamers, Netflix lovers, and anyone living online, so basically all of us. Belgium's internet speeds are good, and Wi-Fi is common in cafes, libraries, and co-working spaces if you like working outside from time to time. So, while utilities can swing up and down with the weather, the overall monthly cost stays manageable. Brussels isn't just about work, waffles, and chocolate. It's a city that knows how to keep life interesting. From lively cafes tucked into cobblestone streets to sleek bars with skyline views, there's always something going on. Coffee culture here is surprisingly strong. You can easily spend an hour or two sipping a flat white or cappuccino, watching locals and expats weave their way through the city. Nightlife in Brussels might not scream Paris or Berlin, but it has its own charm. There are cozy pubs where a beer will set you back around €4, and cocktail bars that feel modern without being overpriced. Clubs and live music spots pop up throughout the city, offering a mix of local and international vibes. And if you love festivals, Brussels keeps you busy year-round. From music to food to quirky neighborhood events, there's always a reason to head out, even without spending much. For those who love staying active, the city is surprisingly friendly. Gyms are easy to find, memberships usually land between €30 and €50 a month, and many parks and walking trails make it easy to enjoy fresh air without paying a cent. Outdoor events, skating, biking, and casual sports are common, especially when the sun decides to show up, which isn't every day, but when it does, Brussels shines. And let's not forget the cultural scene. Brussels may be smaller than some capitals, but museums, galleries, theaters, and concerts keep life rich and diverse. Many museums even offer free days or discounted entry for students and residents, making it easy to get your culture fix without breaking the bank. The lifestyle here is all about balance. You can live simply, enjoy your weekends without stress, or treat yourself to the finer experiences. And the best part? Brussels never feels overwhelming. It's a city that lets you explore at your own pace, discover hidden gems, and feel part of a community that mixes history, modern life, and a surprisingly playful energy. If you're trying to get a clear picture of what living in Brussels costs, let's break it down in a way that actually makes sense. For most newcomers, rent is going to be your biggest expense. A shared apartment in a good neighborhood will typically run around €700 a month. And honestly, that's the way most people start here. Sharing not only makes it affordable, but also gives you a chance to meet people and settle into the city. Food is next, and Brussels makes it easy to strike a balance. Cooking at home with groceries from Aldi or Lidl keeps costs low, but it's also hard to resist the occasional lunch, brunch, or dinner out. If you mix the two, you're looking at roughly €400 a month, enough to enjoy some of the city's great eateries without blowing your budget. Getting around is straightforward and reasonably priced, with a monthly pass costing around €66, plus the occasional taxi or rideshare. Transportation will set you back about €100. Utilities and internet, keeping your apartment cozy and your Wi-Fi lightning fast, usually come to around €100 as well. Entertainment and lifestyle are flexible, but if you like to catch a movie, go to a concert, or explore local events, €150 a month gives you plenty of room to enjoy the city's culture. Add a little extra for small indulgences like haircuts, toiletries, or spontaneous treats, maybe €50, and you're looking at a comfortable, realistic monthly budget. All in all, about €1,500 a month is enough to live very comfortably in Brussels. You'll have a nice place to stay, eat well, get around easily, and enjoy the city's lifestyle without constantly watching every euro. It's a balanced budget that lets you experience what makes Brussels charming while staying grounded in reality. If you're planning to live in Brussels long term, it's important to know that Belgium doesn't currently offer a dedicated digital nomad visa. A tourist visa won't cut it if you intend to work remotely for a foreign company. For non-EU nationals, the main legal route is the professional card, also called a freelance or self-employed visa. It allows you to live and work in Belgium legally while running your own business or freelancing. To get this visa, authorities need assurance that you can support yourself. There isn't a strict minimum salary requirement, but generally, your income should comfortably cover your living costs without relying on public assistance. Roughly around €2,000 per month is a practical benchmark. You'll need to provide bank statements, contracts, or other proof of income. Retirees have a separate option called the Visitor Visa for retirees. It lets non-EU nationals live in Belgium without working, as long as they can show sufficient income to support themselves. Pensions, savings, or investments all count. and proof of health insurance and accommodation is mandatory. The goal is the same. Belgian authorities want to make sure you can live comfortably and independently. Whether you're freelancing or retiring, the key is demonstrating financial self-sufficiency. Belgium wants residents to enjoy life here, but they need to know you can do it on your own. One of the best things about Brussels is that you don't need to spend a fortune to enjoy the city. There's a surprising amount of free experiences if you know where to look. Walking through the historic streets of the city center is already an experience. Cobblestone lanes, colorful townhouses, and hidden courtyards make exploring feel like a treasure hunt. Parks are everywhere, from the sprawling Cinquantenaire Park to the cozy squares in Ixelles. Perfect for a picnic, a lazy afternoon reading, or just people watching as locals go about their day. Art lovers will be happy to know that many museums offer free entry on specific days each month. You can explore world-class exhibitions without spending a cent. Even street performances, cultural festivals, and music events pop up often, filling the city with energy, rhythm, and life, all completely free. And don't forget the markets. Wandering through places like Marché du Midi or Place du Jeu de Balle is a feast for the senses. The sights, sounds, and smells alone make you feel like part of the city, even if you don't buy anything. Brussels proves that some of the richest experiences don't come from spending money, but from being present, curious, and open to discovering the little details that make this city unique. Strolling, observing, and simply enjoying the vibe can give you a full sense of the city without ever opening your wallet. Brussels isn't perfect, and it's important to be honest about the downsides. One of the biggest challenges is the weather. Long gray winters can feel endless, and rainy days are more common than sunny ones. Housing, while more affordable than Paris, is still competitive, especially in the nicer neighborhoods. Expect to spend time hunting for a good flat, submitting all your documents quickly, and sometimes paying extra fees for maintenance or deposits. The city can also feel bureaucratic. From health insurance to taxes and permits, dealing with paperwork is a regular part of life here, and it can be slow or confusing if you're not prepared. Traffic and parking can be a headache too, especially if you decide to have a car. Then there's the social side. Belgians are generally polite but reserved, and locals may seem distant until you get to know them. Some neighborhoods are quieter, with fewer expats, which can feel isolating if you rely on an international community. And while Brussels is safe, pickpocketing and petty theft do happen in busy tourist areas, so vigilance is important. The key takeaway? Brussels rewards patience, preparation, and adaptability. If you go in expecting a perfect city, you'll be disappointed. But if you embrace its quirks, navigate the bureaucracy smartly, and enjoy its rich culture and cosmopolitan vibe, Brussels can be an incredibly rewarding place to live. So, could Brussels be your next city, or is it a pass? That's really up to your lifestyle, budget, and what you value most in a city. If you're curious how Brussels stacks up against other cities, this channel has full monthly cost breakdowns for tons of places, popular and off the beaten path alike. Hit subscribe and stay tuned for more. I'd love to hear from you. What's your dream city to live in, and how much do you think it would cost? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a conversation.